Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So today I'm going to be doing a versus between Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker versus Matrix 4 and asking the question, which is worse? Now, if this sounds bad, then you could listen a little bit further on my ramblings about these two things. And so the first up is Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker. This is the next upcoming Star Wars movie in a series, and if I'm not mistaken, this is episode 9. And if you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out. It's basically another teaser trailer. And the whole trailer actually starts off with basically just throwbacks or montages of all the previous Star Wars that have come before it. And after that, we actually get to the Rise of the Skywalker. And it pretty much follows the events of everything that happened since The Last Jedi. And it is, I guess to say, it's a mixed bag. You know, if I had to actually kind of be objective about it, it was an okay trailer. You know, I mean, it's what you would expect from a Star Wars movie. And it looks to try to, I guess, fix some of the issues that a lot of Star Wars fans had with The Last Jedi, because J.J. Abrams is taking over the directing duties versus Rian Johnson of the last movie. Now, for me, both Star Wars The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, I didn't think they were horrible movies. I actually did reviews on them. I did enjoy them. But the thing is, if I did not compare them to the original Star Wars, you know, New Hope, Empire, you know, Return of the Jedi, they would be just fun, enjoyable movies. But whenever I do compare them to those original movies, oh man, it just takes it to a whole nother level, and quite often not in a good way. And I don't even really compare this new series to episodes 1 through 3 because I really didn't like those pretty much at all. And so I kind of like pretty much wiped those from my mind. And whenever I talk about the original Star Wars, I mean the original. I don't mean the special edition CG ones, the multiple special editions, along with the younger Anakin. That's not the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking the originals. And for me, the original Star Wars is always going to be the best. I don't ever think Star Wars is ever going to recapture that. And it's pretty much always going to be the top of my favorite movies, regardless of genre. And so that's a really hard thing to compare it against, but it's Star Wars. And the thing is, ever since Disney, you know, bought Lucasfilms, and now we've had these new Star Wars movies, there's been more negativity surrounding it than good. And I can completely understand that, especially if you've been a long-time fan of Star Wars. There's really no way around that. And, you know, I can't really talk too much about the controversies between that because everybody has their own opinions on it. But for me, as a Star Wars fan, the characters that I know and love, I obviously really feel that things could have been handled better with the story and the characters. And I feel with Rise of the Skywalker, J.J. Abrams and the writers, they kind of look like they're trying to fix that, you know. That's why they started with this whole montage of all the previous Star Wars, you know, because they actually, I guess, want to keep the nostalgia factor going and saying like, hey, you know, Star Wars is back. But, you know, after seeing this new trailer, I don't really think it's back. I just think it's kind of like temporarily trying to fix things, you know. And if you actually watch a trailer, it does have some scenes with, you know, all your previous Star Wars characters. And some of them, like Carrie Fisher, she's in here as well. And I don't think it's a CG. You know, they had a lot of extra footage that they didn't use, you know, prior to her passing. And I also saw Billy D. Williams back as well as Lando, which is big thumbs up there. And so I kind of feel like this is going to be like the passing of the guard once again, just like they did with The Last Jedi, and before that, The Force Awakens. They're really transitioning over to this new Star Wars characters, new world, new story, and so forth, and with mixed results. And then, of course, we have Rey coming back, and we also have Kylo Ren, and so they're going to be the central characters as always. But in this case, it looks like Rey, we are finding out more about her, and basically whether or not she's dark side, you know, or she's with the Force, or it looks like she's a combination of both. And so that's the gist of it. And, you know, like I said earlier, my overall thoughts on it is it looks like it's just going to be a Band-Aid for, you know, all these new things, or for some people, new problems that this new Star Wars has introduced. Now, I'm kind of burnt out on Star Wars. It's kind of like all these comic book movies. And, now that we have a Star Wars every few years, or in some cases every year, and there's so many other Star Wars properties, I don't know. I don't really get excited about it anymore. And the last new Star Wars movies that I saw were obviously Last Jedi, Force Awakens, and Rogue One. And although I thought they were good, I did enjoy them, I don't think there would be movies that I would revisit. As a matter of fact, I haven't gone back and watched any of them. Whereas the original Star Wars, I could watch those, millions of times, and I would never, get bored with them. And so that's my first thought with Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker. And now the second announcement is The Matrix 4. Wow, I did not see that one coming. And so they are coming back. And the Keanu Reeves is coming back, along with Carrie-Anne Moss. Now, we don't know of any other actors or actresses who are coming back. We don't know if Lawrence Fishburne is coming back. We don't know if Jada Pinkett Smith is coming back, or anybody else in the series. But I would expect that they might make a comeback or make a cameo. And in terms of the Wachowskis, things have changed a lot, obviously, since 1999, since the original. And we no longer have the Wachowski brothers. We have the Wachowski sisters. And for me, with The Matrix 1 especially, very similar to the original Star Wars, one of my favorite movies of all time. But honestly, ever since that one, I didn't really like any of the other ones. Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolution, and honestly, I like the animated Matrix better. The Matrix Animatrix, I enjoyed that better than either of those two sequels. I really don't know what happened there. And in terms of any of the other movies that the Wachowskis have done ever since, I don't really feel that any were memorable. Besides things like V for Vendetta and maybe Speed Racer and also the Sense8 series, the rest of them, they just haven't been great at all. I didn't even bother watching Jupiter Ascending. And so it's kind of like similar in that case. Both franchises, even though Star Wars has a much longer history, there's so much love for The Matrix. And I kind of feel that even though with one of the Wachowskis coming back to do this, I really don't think they can recapture the magic. Even when you have people like Keanu Reeves associated to this, it all comes down to the story that's being written and the characters. And very similar to Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker, I don't have too much hope in that. I know that sounds bad for all the fans out there, but that's kind of how I feel. And it might be just another rehash or cash grab because they thought about, rebooting The Matrix a long time ago. And if I had to compare the two, which is worse, honestly, right now, I think Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker is going to be worse because with this new series, with Disney, with everything that's going on, they build up a lot more, negative things with it versus The Matrix, which still has an opportunity to do something good. And so that's just my ramblings, my rants about the recent Star Wars and Matrix 4 announcement. Let me know if you had any thoughts on this, whether it is something that you kind of feel similar with, or maybe you completely disagree with me. I'd like to know. Leave that in the comments area below. And as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Go Content Creators group, where you'll get access to 30 videos plus additional content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Go Content Creators group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.